Most athletes are actually training slower by accident. Jogging, bodybuilder lifts, and ladder drills are killing your speed. You don't even know it. I'm Lawrence Johnson, a professional sprinter. This season I ran a wind-aided sub-10, and every single athlete that I trained that made it past 6 months in my one-on-one training group PR'd in at least one of their events, barring injury. And on August 16th, 2009, the world of sprinting changed forever. Usain Bolt's 9:58 in the 100 meter is the record that still hasn't been broken. But here's the crazy part. 16 years later, most athletes are still using the training methods that belonged in the 1980s. So why it matters. When Bolt broke this record, he didn't get there by jogging 3 miles for conditioning. He didn't build his base program around max bench press, and he didn't spend practice times doing endless ladders. He trained specifically for speed, explosive force, and precision mechanics with maximum recovery. But today, too many athletes are stuck in the past, and that's why they're stuck running the same time season after season. So if you train like the 1990s or 1980s, don't be surprised when you're stuck around 11 flat. So in this video, I'm going to break down the 5 outdated sprint training methods that are holding athletes back, and I'll give you the exact sets, reps, and frameworks that you can use instead. So outdated sprint workout number 1 is jogging to build a base. The old method is what coaches will send sprinters on a 3 to 5 mile run in the fall, saying you've got to build an aerobic base. But here's the problem. Sprinting is neurological. Long, slow runs is literally teaching your nervous system to fire slower. So here's what to do instead. Do tempo sprints around 60 to 75% of your maximum speed. And here's the exact workout and formula that I like to use. Do 8 times 200 meters at around 70% effort. Take 2 minutes rest or even walk back in between each reps. You want to have a smooth rhythm, upright posture, and you don't want any strain. That's around 1,600 meters in total volume. Do that once or twice per week in your general prep phase of training. And that's how you condition without destroying your speed. And jogging is really the fastest way to guarantee you'll never get faster. Number 2 is your outdated weight room training. Doing bodybuilder splits, right? The old method is a chest day on Monday, back day Tuesday, arm day on Friday. Training like you want to look good on the stage instead of move fast on the track. So here's really the problem. Sprinting is about force into the ground in less than 1/10 of a second. Like 8/100th of a second is what we're talking about. So if your sprints don't train force and speed, they really won't transfer. So here's what you can do instead. You want to do strength work with power work and plyometric contrast. So here's an acceleration focused gym day. Trap bar deadlift, 4 sets of 3 reps, 85 to 90% of your 1 rep max. And then superset this with a broad jump. Do 4 sets of 5 reps. Then you can move into a Bulgarian split squat, 3 sets of 5 reps each leg. And then do weighted sled pushes, around 6 sets of 20 meters. You can also do some anti-rotational core holds, 3 sets of 8 reps each leg. So here's a top speed day. You can do power cleans, 5 sets of 2 reps. Hang snatch, 4 sets of 2 reps. Step up jumps, 3 sets of 5 each leg. You can also do Nordic hamstring curls, 3 sets of 6 reps. You can also follow this up with some bounds, 4 sets of 30 meters. And that's how you lift like a sprinter. So if your weight room looks like a bodybuilding show, don't expect PRs on a track. Number 3 is junk volume. Endless reps with no recovery. The old method would be 20 times 100 meters with like 60-second rest, or ladder drills that you run until you collapse, or really work until you puke method. Here's the truth, guys. Every sloppy rep you take in practice is teaching your body to run slower. So here's what you should do instead. Do max quality sprint with full recovery. So an acceleration session might look like this. Do some warm-ups, some build-ups, then do maybe 6 times 20 meter blocks at 100% intensity. As a rule of thumb, you want to rest 1 minute per 10 meters of sprinting. So if you're doing 6 times 20, take a minimum of 2 minutes rest after each 20 meter block start. You can finish this off with 3 times 30 meter sled sprints at around 20% of your total body weight as resistance. And then for a max velocity sprint session, you can do 6 times 30 meter flying sprints. So this is a 20 meter build up into a 30 meter fly. Make sure you rest at a minimum for 5 minutes after each rep. Next, you can move into wicket runs. This can be 5 times 20 meters, focusing on posture and rhythm. As a rule of thumb though, no more than 300 to 400 meters of true total max sprinting in one session. Because every sloppy rep you take into practice is just really teaching your body how to run slower. And number 4 is copying generic programs. The old method is doing whatever your teammate does or stealing a workout off Instagram. And really the problem is sprinting is so individualized, right? Because Bolt's program wouldn't have worked for Blake, and Tyson Gay's program really wouldn't have worked for Bolt. So here's what you can do instead. You need to test and identify and also fix your weaknesses. So here's my test. We do 30-meter block starts. This is really an acceleration ability assessment. Do your flying 30s. This is max velocity ability assessment. And then 150-meter splits, right? These are your speed endurance abilities. So here's what to do with these results. If you're weak at acceleration, do heavy sled pushes. If you have weak top end speed, do your flying 30s, your wickets, and elastic plyos. If you have weak speed endurance, do 3 times 150 at 95% intensity at around 8 minutes rest. So if you're copying your teammates' program, you're really training their weaknesses and not yours. And number 5 are outdated mechanics and cues. Right, the old method, if your coach is just yelling at you, high knees or run tall, from step 1, you're really forcing stride length. So the problem here is this, right? These cues ruin projection and timing as a sprinter. Bolt didn't focus on a stride length. He focused on producing force into the ground and let the stride open naturally. So here's what you can do instead. You want to have focused, phased-based mechanics. So for acceleration 0 to 30, you want to have forward shin angles. You want to stay open, and you want to have projection, but also you want to have a powerful drive. You can do things like wall drills, 3 times 6 contacts, right? You can do falling starts, 5 times 10 meters, sled sprints, 6 times 20 meters. Now for transition phase, right? This is 30 to 60 meters. You want to have a gradual rise, and you want your posture to build, but you also want to really work on your rhythm at this phase of training. So this can be 3 times 40 meter buildups. These are your wickets, your 5 times 20 meters. And then for your max velocity runs, this is around 60 to 100 meters. You want tall hips, you want front side lift, but you also want vertical force. So these are your flying 30s, your ace skip focusing on stiffness. This is your wicket runs. So high knees is the most outdated sprinting cue in the world. So outdated training is like running a business with a fax machine. Some of you might not even know what a fax machine is in this video. You can feel busy, and the stopwatch doesn't care how tired you are. And here's also the truth. Every 10th matters. An 11-0 guy who runs 10-7 goes from JV to maybe even a state champion. A 10-3 guy who runs 10-0 gets a scholarship, probably even get paid. And a 9-9 guy, that's a professional contract. So every 10th of a second is worth thousands of dollars. Truly. So here's the shift. Tradition isn't truth. So replace distance runs with tempo sprints. Replace bodybuilding lifts with explosive power lifts. Replace junk reps with high quality sprints, and replace generic programs with individualized testing. Replace bad cues with biomechanic precision, because sprinters who aren't adapting just aren't going to PR. So the ones who are PR, they're going to dominate in the next generation of sprinting, because tradition doesn't actually make you fast. At the end of the day, science does. So if you found this video helpful, share it with somebody who's out there doing crazy training, thinking it's going to make them faster. If you also want a 3-week training plan, you can click this video where you can get some general prep type of training. Or if you want to get faster for free again, you can click the first link in the description of this video and join Sprint University, which is a group of all sprinters working together for free. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.